is about mastering the art of Machiavellian strategies. Bit of a touchy subject, I know, but I've been wanting to make a video about this for a long time. So, you know, if you've not got the stomach for it and it's not for you, just click off because, you know, but anyway, I'm going to do it because I've been wanting to do it for a while. I'm also going to do a long form, like more of an edited version, you know, a proper long form video on this topic because I think it deserves some consideration. Now, at first glance, you know, why would you want to become better at Machiavellian strategies? Or, as I like to say, I want to become a better Machiavel. I feel as if I am naturally a bit Machiavellian myself. I think it's just life's experiences has taught me to use a few of those tactics just for self-protection, really. And why is that? Well, you know, just my upbringing and everything, sort of fending for yourself. You have to be able to protect yourself. And this is what I want to cover today. So I have read quite a lot of books on this topic, especially the Dark Triad, because I'm a great believer in understanding the knowledge of this. You know, it's almost like, why would you want to know things like understanding Machiavellian tactics? Well, know thy enemy. What does that mean? It means understanding, spotting the signs, seeing what's going on, understanding what's really happening, and being armed with the knowledge for a start. So the first, why would you want to learn about this stuff? Well, you want the knowledge, you want to understand so you can spot if someone's trying to manipulate you or something like this. But then also, you know, just want to address the kind of moral considerations of this. I think having as much knowledge as possible is part of the key to self-protection. Why would you want to protect yourself? Well, you know, the world is tough out there, and if you get taken advantage of, whether that is, you know, by a friend, family, someone like that, or it could be something a bit more nefarious, you can end up finding out down the line that you've just been done over by someone. So I always think that it's a brilliant idea to learn as much of the Dark Triad as possible. Few great books, let's get started. So, first one, I have got the original, The Prince, Niccolò Machiavelli himself. This is the first book. So, by the way, all these are on my reading list. If you go to andyholt.co.uk and go on to my reading list, you will find these. So this is the first book where it all started. It was basically Machiavelli was trying to advise the rulers at the time in Italy about, you know, how to rule. And, you know, the premise of this is basically that there's a pragmatism element. Sometimes it's better to apply fear to those that you're going to rule in order to get what you want. Make of that what you will. But it's considered quite a brutal book. There's quite a series of old books like this. You know, there's The Courtier, which is another book. And, you know, it is a brutal book, and putting the fear into the citizens was what it was all about. So, but obviously you've got to understand that it was written in context. Back in the day, hang on, it says on the back here, this is 16th century politics. So you can imagine things were a bit brutal back then. So, modern day Machiavellianism, more like Robert Greene. So I've got the pocket guide here, but you can get the full guide of 48 Laws of Power. The full guide is absolutely massive, you know, the full book. But this is the pocket guide, the concise 48 Laws of Power. It's really small. And absolutely fantastic, of which my favourites are, I am pretty sure, I'm going to say, I think it's Law 30 that I like. Let me have a look. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. That's a good one. Yeah, there are so many in here, you know. Here we go. Law 33. You're going to like this one. Discover each man's thumbscrew. That is spotting what is a thumbscrew. Well, it's the weakness in every person. So if you've got an enemy, discover that person's thumbscrew and turn it. You know what I mean? That you can make of that what you will. I would read 48 Laws of Power, even if you just Google. Very, very powerful. Another great book, Office Politics, Oliver James. I think this guy's like a psychologist, but it's all about narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. In the workplace, absolutely, it's quite a funny book, actually. He goes through a lot of the stories. Like there's a character in here that he worked with, which was absolutely brutal in the dating world. You know, he'd just like have no morals whatsoever. He'd get like his dates, date a girl in the office, and then like, you know, pretend he's going to get married to her, and then just leave her stood up at the altar and just go for another. Absolutely brutal stuff. It is quite funny, but even this book itself, I'm just going to read the back of it. Our modern working world is a dangerous place. Game playing, duplicity, and sheer malevolence are rife. If you think you're judged on merit, think again. It's your ability to play the political game that counts. So it's all about the office politics. Exposing the devious practices that propel people to the top. Oliver James divulges strategies and techniques for triumphing over a new breed of office monsters. So this book is all about teaching you to spot the signs of narcissists, psychopaths, and Machiavells, right? And then be able to play their tactics against them. So it's almost like playing their own game against them. And as far as the morals go for learning such stuff, this is one of the main reasons why you ought to read this. If you want to bury your head in the sand, that's fine, but I'd rather learn this stuff. And, you know, because there are times where defensive strategies come in. You know, I don't know if you've ever been in a tough negotiation. The world of business is absolutely brutal. If you think that you can go through the business world playing by the rules, I think you've got another thing coming. You can do that, you'll just get trodden on. You have to cut corners and do certain things. So this is why I am a massive proponent of reading stuff like this. I always think in the business world, what's the famous saying? All's fair in love and war. Yeah, I would say that's true. So in love, I'm a little bit against that, you know, myself. There are so many tactics that you can learn in the dating space, which this will sort of help you with, you know, just to sort of manipulate people. I'm less of a fan of that. I'm more of a fan of getting what you need in business. You know, talk a lot about goal achievement. I think learning to be, as I say, I want to become a better Machiavel. I want to become a better strategist. I want to beat people at their game. The world of business is about strategy. It's like a big game of chess. If you can be 3 moves ahead of your competition, no matter what, obviously you don't want to break the law, but using tactics to outmaneuver people is what it's all about. So yes, I am a massive believer in that. Yeah, in terms of developing the characteristics to become more, you know, more in tune with like Machiavellianism, you need to be, you need good emotions. You know, you've almost like got to have a poker face and look people in the face and know that you're trying to maneuver them. I'm not going to go into massive detail in this video because I haven't really prepared it right, but I am going to create a new, like a long form on this. I'm going to research it properly, create a poker video. I have got some notes here in terms of defensive strategies. So, you know, using the knowledge, learning about how to spot the signs when you're being manipulated, that kind of thing. And using that as armor. So you're going to use that knowledge to spot. And what is it really about? It's all about having boundaries, right? That can be in your personal life. You know, you can get manipulated by a love interest, right? And having those boundaries at the ready when you spot it is really good. Also in business, you know, having boundaries, don't get walked on, don't get talked into a bad deal. The whole no deal is better than a bad deal, you know, being able to walk away at all times. You've got to have these fantastic strategies, the better that you can become defending yourself. You know, if you get pushed into a corner, spotting red flags, obviously, you know, things like when you ever notice when you can spot people evading answers and things like this, selective truth telling, charm mixed with hidden agendas, you know what I mean, all these kind of things. So you want to be doing that. Yeah, like I said, the modern day Machiavelli, Robert Greene, lots of Robert Greene's work. I'm a big fan, you know, in his work. He's done one of his books, The Art of Seduction. Again, it's about seduction, but really, that book is teaching you it's teaching you to manipulate, really, which is another way, you know. So what is it all about? It's about power and perception, right? How this is what Machiavelli's talking about, like how you can persuade people and also use your power. So the original book, where is it again? The Prince is a bit more brutal. It's like putting fear, persuading people through fear, this, but you can also persuade people through influence. But there are times where, let's say you just need to get a result, end of, right, and you're in business. I think you should just go for it and do whatever tactics you can to get your result, because at the end of the day, it's your vision, isn't it? And if you don't do it, unfortunately, someone else will. How do you think a business starts from nothing at the very bottom? And if you've ever done a startup, the way that you get anywhere, if you try and do it organically, you'll just get absolutely trodden on by the big competition. You 100% have to be prepared to do whatever it takes to rise up a peg, because if you just follow all the rules nice and neatly, you just get trodden on. So yeah, the focus is on controlling perceptions, exploiting weaknesses, and capitalizing on timing. So that exploiting weaknesses, that's, you know, rule 33. This is why I like this rule so much. Discover each man's thumbscrew. So let's just have a quick look. What's that? Page 131. Let's have a little look. What are we on here? It's going darker. Here we go. Discover each man's thumbscrew. It says here, right, the judgment. Everyone has a weakness, a gap in the castle wall. That weakness is usually an insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion or need, right? It can also be a small secret pleasure. Either way, once found, it is a thumbscrew that you can turn to your advantage. So that's sounds quite mean, that, but you know, the best strategists. This is how, you know, if you think about investigators, you know, like detectives, they're looking for a weakness, aren't they, to exploit through an interview. And if you train yourself to look for weaknesses, you can then use that against other people. But is it moral? Is it ethical? If you use it for your own advantage, I don't know. There's two types to it. Like, my own opinion is I don't think you should ever try and hurt another human being. But in the world of business to business, I think, you know, I think that's okay. It's the only way to get, especially if you're bidding against a very large business. I've had to do this. Like, I've had to bid against absolutely massive, with my own company, which is quite small. I've had to bid against absolutely massive monsters, you know, big corporates. And they're doing everything. When you pop your head on the scene, they're doing everything to squash you. So depends on how you feel about the ethics and morality of it. But I think in that scenario, it's okay, because they're only doing it to you anyway. Same in politics. What does every politician do to the other one? They just try and squash them. I think it's only fair there. But if it's like a person to person, I would absolutely, you know, there's no point in doing that. I do not stand by that whatsoever. But in business, I think you've got to do what you can to make it work. I don't know how else to say it, you know. Yeah, just combining everything together. You want to, how do you do this ethically? I'm going to have to give this a bit more thought, but basically, you know, if it's an individual, you want to be empathetic with them. But when it's business to business, I think you should go and get what you need to achieve your own goals. It reminds me of a friend of mine that one of my friends went to prison one time, and he said, yeah, I came out a better criminal. You know, like he'd learnt so much inside, like came out a better criminal. And it always reminds me of that, because I always tell people I want to become a better Machiavelli. That's why I read all these books. I just want to be better at persuading people. You know, thinking in a sales situation, you don't want to tell lies, but you want to be able to persuade people to get further ahead, to get the deal over the line. Sometimes that involves a bit of tactics. I worked with a guy for a long time who, absolutely brilliant mental chess player. I'm just gonna, got a notification coming up. He was a brilliant mental chess player. He'd always say I'd be 3 moves ahead. Absolutely brilliant politically in terms of negotiating deals and putting us in front of people. So I've always been the technical guy, you know. I'm in software, so I was like the technical brains, and he was more the political strategist. We used to work together. Me and him were a double team, absolutely smashing it. He'd be 3 moves ahead on the office politics, and I'd be following him up, backing it up with a good solution. That's how we got somewhere. So don't know what you think. Like I say, I will do, I'm going to make a proper video about this one, because I think it is quite a thought-provoking subject. But yeah, I think it's all right to, definitely you should be learning the skills to understand Machiavelli and his strategies, and also the Robert Greene stuff, the modern day Machiavellianism, and become better as a strategist. Become a better Machiavellian strategist all round. Would use it as a way, number one, spot when other people, you want to be able to understand the knowledge so you know when you're being manipulated. Number two, so that you can use them tools against others when it is right to do so. All right, see you all next time.